This is Night Views with Sil Abdul and C. Los as we talk about the latest in NFL and other popular sports. Definitely professional and collegiate. We may mix in some boxing if Tyson does it again. We may, World Series baseball. Anyway, as I said, I'm Sil Abdul, joined by Carlos here. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? How you doing? What an interesting day in football today. Today's games, I would say it kind of summed up what this football season has been. The craziness and like those
pretty wild.
lows. The last 4 minutes of each of those 1 o'clock games were just like just out of this world.
It's been a pretty wild week, but like I said, NFL's been popping, man. Like if I'm comparing sports, I mean, obviously we watch the basketball, college as well. NFL was like always interesting for some reason.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a bad Thursday night game, then that's probably when it's like not that interesting. But we coming up on a holiday week. This is just my favorite time of the year because first I get some time off work, but then we got the NFL Thanksgiving games coming, Black Friday games. So it's an exciting time for sports. You know what I'm saying?
We got 3 games on Thanksgiving this year. It's crazy.
And something just popped off in the game.
Yeah.
What just happened, bro?
I think Saquon
just snapped.
Yeah, I think he just scored again.
Yeah, like they just came out of the halftime.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's wild. I'm gonna see if this replay pop up for me. It was like a run, or did you catch it?
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, I believe it was a run. Yeah, here he goes right here. He just bust through. Yep. Yeah, he just. Oh man.
First play of the half.
He was booking it, dude. He was laughing the whole time.
Hey, like if there's any confusion, who's the best back in the league right now? Saquon Barkley delivered. Now, if y'all are new to Night Views, again, we go live during the game. Sunday Night Football. If it gets a little interesting, we'll kind of lock in and commentate over it. But right now, we'll just let the game do its thing. And I guess it's a good place to start right now. Saquon Barkley. Let's see, what's his stats looking like? Let me jump down here. Because the Eagles been looking good the first half. Right now, Saquon has 143 rushing yards with that touchdown, 16 passes.
I find it crazy that they actually look comfortable and complete. And today they don't have Smith out there with them. So I find that a little crazy to me.
I think A.J. Brown's kind of like the key. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as he's out there, because – they had a few games without AJ, and Devontae Smith is solid, but he's a speed guy. But I think as long as Jalen Hurts has AJ Brown out there, it's like he just that's like his anchor or something.
Yeah, because when he had that big play in this game, that's when everything started changing. When he caught that that big first down play. But I think it's mainly also because I feel like Hurts tries to. He understands that having Smith on the field is also a good thing, so he tries to spread it too much. But I feel like how you're saying, if that main focus starts off with Brown, I think that's pretty much the culture of the game. It's going to go.
Yeah, I think that's going to kind of set the tone for their offense side of the ball. Right now, AJ Brown 4 catches, 69 yards, and a touchdown. He's going to get extra targets. With Devontae Smith out too, so. If you got him on your fantasy team out there. But as far as the Rams, I've always been a fan of the Rams, right? I don't hide my bias of just certain teams. Like I'm a fan of Matthew Stafford because I know he went through a lot with Detroit. And Detroit doesn't treat their people good. So I'm glad he got out and went to California and got a Super Bowl. But Stafford, if you caught some of the game, Carlos, he barely has any time in the pocket. Like the pressure's crazy on him right now.
Yeah. No, just right now. I mean, like he's begging to give the ball to the running back because he can't. He doesn't have any free time out there. It's crazy.
All right. And running back Kyron Williams, fan of his game as well. He got 10 carries, 62 yards, and a touchdown. He usually gets in the passing game, but they didn't target him yet. So. just right now, the Rams, they got to start letting it rip. Puka Nacua got 5 targets. Cooper Kupp got 4, but he didn't do too much.
That was a nice play from Puka.
Yeah, speaking of Puka Nacua, that's definitely
it's
his
like
number
on
one
cue.
target. As great as Cooper Kupp has been, that was a great catch. That was Puka just has taken over as like his main target. But Cooper Kupp's still putting in work. So we'll see how that game again. Once we get to the fourth quarter, if that game or if something special happens, we'll kind of touch on it live. But we're keeping an eye, like we said, on this game right now. 20-7. Early in the third quarter, a lot can happen. Rest of this game. Now, I want to jump back a bit. Get your thoughts on a few games, Carlos, like we normally do.
Yes, sir.
Some of these Thursday games have been getting better. This past Thursday, we had Pittsburgh at Cleveland, and we're bringing this up because of just the significance of, Steelers leading their division, AFC North, and the fact that it was a snow game. So it's like you had you had at first just the significance of the game. You had Jameis Winston, who just must see TV no matter what, whether he's throwing pick sixes or whatever quotes.
Or talking, yeah.
And we had snow. We had straight up snow. Now, Steelers did lose. I don't personally put too much credence. Like it's a division game, just like the Ravens lost to the Browns one game. But are we seeing, or what's your assessment now? Russell Wilson, 5 games. You pretty much have 5 games or so with Justin Fields. Russell Wilson, 21 of 28, 270 yards, a touchdown.
Yeah.
But if you watch the game, it was moments where I was like, Justin Fields would have probably took off and ran right there, But there's moments where Russell, he'll make the throw that Justin won't make. So what's your assessment of the quarterback situation of the Steelers right now?
Honestly, I think they kind of proved us wrong. They knew what they were doing, and this was probably the best thing to happen to the Steelers. I think what their plan is to do is to convert Fields into what they tried to convert Tim Tebow, where he doesn't play running back. There was one play they did try it this game. It was almost like they ran a wildcat, but they had Fields running the ball mainly, almost like a running back. I can see them, adding to that because obviously it's like you mentioned with Fields, you want him running the ball. He does have a throw if you need to throw it, but their main guy who's going to set this team or send this team somewhere is going to be Russell. And the good thing that you could take from this game is that they finally scored a touchdown. They didn't win by a field goal. They actually got some connection with Wilson and their receivers. And yeah, man, those snow games, it's so unpredictable. It's just so unpredictable.
Yeah, it was pretty well. Like I said, it's always cool to see football in the snow.
Yeah.
But if you look at the division, AFC North, again, a lot of people, we were favoring the Ravens early in the year. With that loss, the Ravens are still, just a game behind the Steelers. Bengals, we'll kind of look at the playoff picture. The Bengals are kind of hoping for everybody else to lose to even sneak into the playoffs. But with the schedule remaining, and I don't have the schedule up right in our face here, but I'm going to kind of read off the next few games the Steelers has and the next few games the Ravens have. Steelers, they got the division game. So they got Thanksgiving week off. Yeah. Then they play the Bengals. So that's a division game. Browns again. Eagles, then Ravens. Going into Christmas week, they play the Chiefs. So couple division games. This Eagles team that's looking good tonight. And then Ravens get the rematch. Then the Chiefs at home.
That's tough.
That's tough.
That's tough. Yeah, that's tough.
That's a pretty tough schedule now. And, Ravens fans, you'll probably be looking like, hey, that kind of gives us a better chance to catch them because the Ravens, their schedule, I think they got Thanksgiving week off. Well, they got this game, then they're off for the week, and then they play the Ravens play the Eagles as well, Giants in the rematch with the Steelers.
Yeah.
And then Christmas, they have the Texans. So, this is a coin toss.
I can see the Steelers going like 50-50 on those next 4 games. Win 2, lose 2. Just because, and I don't want to like mention like which ones exactly, because just how this season has been going, like it depends on what team shows up on the field. Because you'll have a game with the Ravens that, you have Derrick Henry looking like the best running back in the freaking country, and then you'll have games where Derrick Henry is not even used once. So it's like, it all depends on the game plan and who shows up. But if Steelers, use this time off to actually regroup and build more of that trust that you have with Russell right now, because Pickens, I honestly, I think he's loving having Russell, because Russell is like, he's his number one target. So if they can get on that same page, I mean, yeah, I could definitely see a 50-50.
Had a drop, almost had a touchdown over. But no, for sure, like you said, I can't trust too many teams the way the season's been going. Like, I mean, you almost can't always trust the Chiefs either, because first the Bills, I think, beat them handily last week, and then the Panthers pushed them to the brink today. So you can't even trust the Chiefs right now. But just as a body of work, the Steelers, they play one way. They're going to play tough defense, and so you're not going to just throw all over them. And then I do think Russell Wilson gives them just a better shot at throws on offense, and that's a good formula. The Ravens, like you said, some of this is on coaching, man. Like, they're going to drop a couple of those games that we're talking about. I can see them winning like 11 games for the year or something like that. But I just think the Steelers, they have the formula right now, and I think they're going to hold off the Ravens, actually. I'm going to just say it right now. I think the Steelers are going to win this division.
What's crazy is, too, is because, like, many past years with the Ravens, the main story and the main, like, I guess, quote unquote person to blame has been Lamar. But it's like, this season has proven that how important coaching is, like how you're saying, because like Lamar, there's times where he's like having this whole team on his back, and it's because he's forced into that situation, and it's just crazy to me to see.
Yeah. So all you can do is go off of, I try not to go off of like, okay, previous years, this team was this. It's like, no, this season the Ravens are not consistent. They're not. Lamar is amazing. Lamar Jackson, is the best player in the world right now, but the team around him.
Oh, they just scored a touchdown.
Okay, so we got the Rams scoring. Demarcus Robinson with the touchdown. So we may have a little fourth quarter commentary coming. This shaping up again. They know we live on Night Views, so right now it should be 20 to 14.
20 to 14. Yeah, they're about to kick the extra point now.
Eagles up. So we may have a little watch along coming.
Speaking of extra point, that Commanders game, man. Oh man, that was
rough. Actually, okay, let's go ahead and highlight that, because I'm a little worried about the Commanders. A lot of people, and I get it. We get high on these teams. They're high flying early. Jaden Daniels, I think, is good as advertised, but let's pull this up here. Cooper Rush and the Cowboys. Now, first off, this is a little golf clap to the Cowboys. Y'all showed up against your division rivals, and how things will fall. They played Thanksgiving Day versus the Giants, so the Cowboys have a little winning streak coming. I'm just saying.
The Cowboys have one of the funniest things that they can do right now, and that's go hire Daniel Jones as their quarterback before the Giants game.
That would be perfect, but we'll see. But as far as with the Commanders, though, dropping another game, they're 7-5. I'll have the playoff picture up here in a moment, but they're at the 7th seed if the season ended right now. I'm not going to put too much in like, oh, they're not as good. It's like you had a new quarterback, new coach for that team.
Yeah.
New offensive system, and they hit the ground running. Jaden Daniels looked great, but now they kind of come back down to earth. Like, and as that kicker at the end there, first off, crazy play. If people weren't watching this, Commanders down by 7, with like seconds to go. A simple pass to McLaurin, he breaks it for 86 yards for a touchdown.
Ridiculous.
For a chance to tie the game at home against the hated Cowboys. And the kicker, he had a bad snap, and he pulled the extra point. He pulled it. Like, oh my goodness.
I think it was you that said it last week. We got to trust our kickers. Man, I would have went for the 2-point conversion just because how that game was going. I would have just went for the win. And I think they would have had a better chance. I think with the Commanders right now, shout out to the Replacements movie. I think they're in, like Keanu Reeves says, they're in quicksand right now, and they're trying to find their way out of it. And anything they do, it's like the deeper they sink. I put it this way: I have more confidence in the Commanders than I do the Arizona Cardinals right now. Because it's like every year we have this, and I know we may touch on the Cardinals, but every year there's a situation with Murray where he has these spurts of games that he looks like the next MVP quarterback, and then all of a sudden it's like he doesn't know how to even hold the football. And at least with Daniels and this young core that they have with the Commanders, you see growth even in their losses. And you see them make, in their next games, make those adjustments that need to be made. And it's like you mentioned, new coaching, young quarterback, and you expect these type of games. But I think they'll be all right. They just need to figure out how to get out of the quicksand right now.
Yeah, I mean, at this point with them, dropping a couple games and how good the Eagles are looking, even if the Eagles drop tonight's game for some reason.
Yeah,
it looks like the Eagles are the best team in that division, NFC East, right?
Yeah.
So the Commanders are talking about, hey, can we sneak into the playoffs? Can we hold on? Right now, again, at the 7th seed, so 5 losses at the 7th seed, and you got whoever loses the NFC West trying to jump up here and challenge the Commanders. So coming up for the Commanders, because it's all about scheduling as well. They reach a soft spot of their schedule. They may figure out something here. They got the Commanders after Thanksgiving. They got the Titans coming to town. Okay. And they go to the Saints.
Okay.
Then they come back and play the Eagles, which would be at home. So they have a chance to make some ground up here, kind of hold on to this spot. And then, you got to punch Philly in the mouth one time. They're the division rivals. So
yeah. And with Philly, it's like we said, they have been great, but they've also had these questionable games, and for the Commanders, they're really hoping for that type of week for them, because it hasn't really been hit or miss with the Eagles, because obviously they've been so good, but it's just, I guess for me personally, it's that trust in Hurts. I don't fully trust him as the guy, for me personally, but yeah.
He's playing good right now, man. Like, you still don't trust him.
I've heard it. I've seen it before. We've had a whole season where they were number 1, and then they lose in the first round of the playoffs. So, at this point, you guys have been good. Now it's time to keep it and push through that next door. Like it's your time now. It's your time now, especially with the team they have.
But as far as with the Commanders, I mean, any fans of the Commanders out there, I say don't panic yet. I think their schedule going to soften up, and they'll probably hold on to. I don't think they're going to win the division, but they probably can hold on to that last seed. It'll be good to see them, a young team make the playoffs. So
and no matter what they do this season, it's been a W for them, because nobody expected the Commanders to be this way this year. And this is just. Now, what you guys can focus on also is what to add to this team, almost great team that you have building right now, this young core, to make it better. So,
Yep. So we'll see we'll see how that comes about for them, and we'll be keeping an eye on, like I said, this upstart team overall. Now, another team that I'm like, I used to do my panic. I may have to bring that back on Night Views, but got my little panic tears. Houston Texans, we have a problem. They're 7-5. They had a terrible loss today. The Titans, they traded away their best receiver, D-Hop. So they're not even trying to win. But so the Texans losing this game. And yes, it is a division game, AFC South. But no, there's levels to this. The Titans are not good. So what is wrong with the Texans? If you got a chance to see any of their game,
I saw this game. I saw this game live at work, and this game was just like I was so confused on what I was seeing. I'm like, forcing throws, like Stroud looks like uncomfortable with the offense, and then Mixon was like, I have him on my fantasy, only had 4 points for yardage. Like I don't know. Like, what is going on? And like, did Diggs get hurt?
Yeah, Diggs out for the year.
Okay, Diggs is out. So that I want to say that could be an issue, but even when he was playing, like, it was hard to get him the ball. I really do think, Stroud is trying to be the kumbaya guy and try to spread the ball around. I think they need a game plan. Who are you going to go with first, whether it's Mixon or now that you got Nico Collins back? Because Nico had a decent game today for being his second game.
He's the main target for sure, Nico Collins. Yeah. Even with Diggs out there, he was the main guy.
Yeah. So, I mean, we could say it's coaching, but, man, he just doesn't look comfortable out there. Stroud.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm putting this on Stroud. If I'm blaming someone for just their performance this year, because all we do is go off of what he did before. CJ Stroud had a great rookie year, set a new standard for a successful year for a rookie. And this year, now I will say maybe their offensive line's a little shaky because he doesn't have a lot of time for a lot of these throws. But he's turning the ball over now. But that could be him pressing, trying to make things happen too. I'm not comfortable with this team. Like, again, with the Texans, I mean, they're going to win this division because the Colts are finding new ways to lose every week. So we're talking about this probably being the fourth seed, and so you'll face the best team that doesn't make the playoffs in the AFC. Now, in that situation, that'll be either the Chargers or Ravens if they don't win their division. I see Texans right now. They're going to win their division, and it's one and done. This don't look like a team ready to make a run.
Yeah, that team doesn't. With all the power that they have, all the superstar power that they have, it still seems like they're missing something. And maybe it could be that Stroud sees that he has all these weapons and he wants to be more of a thrower now, or they're trying to make him into more of a thrower. But one thing that Stroud was known for was running. And it's like, even now when he runs, he regresses. He runs, downward. He doesn't run to get more yardage. And it's just like he's kind of like just on an island out there. He doesn't know. It looks like not that he doesn't know what he's doing, but he's kind of lost out there with this season.
Yeah, I think he's trying. I think he's trying not to run. And like I said, I get it. Like, you don't want to just be, I'm just this running quarterback. But it's like, no, side note, like my team, the Bears, I like seeing Caleb Williams, as a rookie, he's realizing, hey, I just got to run sometimes, bro. Like, just forget that. Like,
Shout out to the Bears too, man. Shout out to they had a great game. That was a great
good fight against the Vikings. Honorable mention. It's a learning year. I understood after the Hail Mary loss and blocked field goal. We lost by a blocked field goal. I was like, okay, we're not making the playoffs. Okay, I get it. So we're gonna learn, and we want Caleb to grow. And he had some absolute dimes today that he was throwing. So I feel good about the future of my Bears. But again, it's that progress
by Gainwell.
So the Eagles.
Eagles just.
All right, so we got another touchdown. So these Eagles, they're putting up a lot of points. So we're potentially 27-14.
Yep.
Middle of the third. what we got? Yeah, middle of the third quarter. The Eagles are this ended up being a shootout, so this would be a pretty fun ending to that game. But the Rams, they gotta start airing it out, man.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp barely touched the ball. Let's get some fireworks going here. But yeah, the end point as far as with the Texans, like I said, my point with Caleb Williams is I like seeing that progress. He's learning how to be a pro, and like Stroud is regressing.
Right. And to shout out to your Bears again. It's with Caleb Williams, you're seeing the upgrade of knowledge throughout each game. Where it's as with Stroud, he'll do it for like 2 games and then he'll regress back to the same motive, and it's just like there's nothing else you can learn. You already know what you're doing wrong. You just need to not do it anymore at this point. And it's been like that all season for him.
So. Yeah, some bad losses, and that really, you're talking about a difference between contenders and hey, I'm just happy to make the playoffs. But the Texans, based on what they did last year, they won a division and they won a playoff game, and Stroud was low key an MVP candidate.
Yeah,
they're now repeating that, so they're not happy just making the playoffs. So this is not going to be a good season for them if they're one and done. You got to get that line together. At the end of the day, let's put some money on that line. Maybe you shouldn't have went and got Stephon Diggs and probably invested in your offensive line, in my opinion. So we'll see. We'll see about that. But, again, the Eagles, Rams game, Eagles up 27-14. When we get to the fourth quarter, if it remains tight, we'll like I said, we'll do a little watch along with it. But let's jump over here. A team, again, we're talking – this is beyond panic at this point for the 49ers.
Yeah.
The 49ers are just not having a good year. They're just not going to have a good year. I know some people, when I say I want to have my panic list like a month or so ago, it wasn't me picking on anyone. Just I was looking at the schedule, projecting, hey, and the injuries. I was like, hey, the 49ers should really panic this year because it's not lining up good. And Brock Purdy didn't even play today. All right.
And even before the injuries and all this stuff, just the offseason with the whole contract negotiations and just the way everything was going about for their offseason, you were like, oh, they're just not in it. Yeah. That's what the offseason is. The offseason was that face all along.
Oh man, like Brandon Ayuk, the heist of the year. Brandon Ayuk stealing $30 million a year from him. I don't know how you get away with that legally, but he's doing it. And Christian McCaffrey's back, but he doesn't look 100%. He doesn't look 100% at all out there. Like he's out there, but he probably to shut it down.
Yes, 100%. And that to me is what I was saying before they even allowed him to come back. Like I get it. You're good enough to come back. If you want to come back, come back. But as an organization, I would have talked to him and be like, look, you were Mr. Madden. You were on the cover of Madden last season for how good you played. Like you had ACL meniscus on both of your legs. Like, dude, relax. We're not winning this year. It's already said and done. Ayuk is hurt. Why force him to come back and re-aggravate something that he's working so hard this year to get better at? I just think that was not handled correctly, and I think they literally just should have just called it this season.
Right now, the 49ers, a little Super Bowl hangover maybe as well too. So sometimes it hits teams when you make it to the Super Bowl. You come in second place, and then the next season you're kind of like, we were so close. They're at the bottom of the NFC West. Who would have called that when the season started? But they're only a game out of first place as well. But they lost to the Seahawks already. Yeah. They lost to the Cardinals and the Rams. So they have no tiebreakers right now until they beat some of their division rivals. So this is beyond panic. This is you fighting for your life like R. Kelly right now. This is the 49ers are doing and their schedule coming up. They, again, outside of the division games, they still got to play that round again with them. But you got the Bills coming up after Thanksgiving. You got my Bears coming to town, which I'm saying I'm not scared of these 49ers if I'm the Bears.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Let's say they do win, right? And they do make it there. Who's gonna show up there if everyone's hurt? Like if they manage to win a couple of these games, right? And they make it into that top spot, are you gonna have a healthy team to when you reach there? It's like
so the schedule. So again, you're going to the Bills. My Bears going to San Francisco. Then you're welcoming the Rams. Then they're going to play your Dolphins and then the Lions. They probably won't be favored for it. They'll probably be favored against my Bears. Probably like a slim margin at home. Yeah. But going to like the Dolphins, this team shouldn't be favored on the road against your Dolphins. The Lions going in there,
especially with the climate we're having right now.
Yeah, so it's like this. It's looking like I said, it's like the Niners are not going to make the playoffs, and I think they should really shut down C-Mac.
Yeah.
Get ready for next year, bro. Figure out y'all going to play Brock Purdy, what you're going to do, trade Deebo Samuels, because you're already paying him, and he's not a difference maker at all. Deebo Samuels is not. He's just not. He's a weapon, but I'm not like, let's rely on him. Because you would think, okay, Ayuk's out. Okay, that's fine. We still got Jawan Jennings, who's a number 3 receiver, but he's really solid. Deebo Samuel, you're thinking, okay, we could feature him, right? It's like, no, you actually can't.
It's crazy to think that there was a well, I don't know if there was truth to this, but there was a rumor where when the Ayuk contracts were going on, they were in talks with the Steelers to make a trade. Was it the Steelers or no? It was the Raiders to make a trade to send Ayuk over there for Adams. I know Adams. He's not having a great year with the Jets, but I think that's an upgrade from Ayuk, even if he is having an off season. And that I think they really. It's like you said it best. Ayuk heisted the 49ers.
Straight up, Dan. So they have a lot of decisions to make next year. I mean, now low key, and I'm not trying to be hyperbolic saying this, but the 49ers, like as far as social media fans, they're saying like maybe they should fire the coach. I'm like, whoa! We're going that far with it. I like Kyle Shanahan was like the mad genius. Like,
I think they're just the fans are just they know how good they can be. And they're just frustrated, and they're just stupid up nonsense because that is how are you gonna keep Ayuk and fire your coach? Like, are you kidding me right now?
I think if they're smart, and they do have a good front office, the Niners do. Trade Deebo Samuel, see what you can get for Deebo. Probably get some picks in this draft coming up because they're good at drafting too. So get these guys, put them in your system. I mean, what? Okay. If you caught most of their, I watched most of their games. You believe in Brock Purdy as your quarterback for at least the next 5 years. You believe in Brock Purdy? I think Purdy's solid. I don't think he's the problem
for that system. Yeah, he's a Shanahan guy. Like that. That's he runs the system, and that's why he hasn't gone anywhere yet. Because why teach somebody a whole new system when you can? He obviously, when the system is working, he's the best at it when he's doing it. So,
Right. So, I don't think I'm not going to overreact and be like, let's blow it all up. It's like, no, I wouldn't fire the coach. He's a very successful coach. He's getting you to the Super Bowl every like 3 years. So
the best term would be retool. They need to retool that team.
Like you got Purdy. Like I said, trade Deebo Samuels. Call back up the Patriots, say, "Hey, y'all did want Ayuk, right? Y'all said y'all wanted him. Like, let's make that deal, right? You got Jawan Jennings, you got C-Mac. You already got him under contract. Probably plug some holes on the defensive end too, because teams are kind of scoring a little bit too easily on. And I'm not familiar with these Niners people scoring on them like this.
Yeah.
So that's one thing there. And like I said, just build around Purdy. and retool, like you said. I think that'd be the best bet.
Send Ayuk to the Giants for neighbors and call it a day.
But they ain't gonna give up the neighbors. They ain't gonna do that now. That's some wishful thinking there. That's
oh man, I don't know what the Giants are doing right now. Like,
and the Giants,
do they even have a quarterback? I think they just picked somebody up from the street.
This is a total blow up, right? For the Giants. Like you tell your starting quarterback, I mean, for contract reasons, right? They told Daniel Jones, we're going to sit you for the rest of the year. Like they did Russell Wilson last year, right? Well, the Broncos, they're just like, if you get hurt, there's a clause. We don't want to pay you that. So sit down, and then they probably was going to try to trade him on the offseason. Daniel Jones saw the writing on the wall. He's like, okay, I'm done here. Just, can you just cut me? Like, can you get me out of here? And so I guess good on them, because that's not probably wasn't a smart business thing, but to service the person, it's like, let's just let him go.
And I feel like he got the brute end of being on that Giants team. All the blame went to him. I mean, yes, he wasn't a great quarterback, but he also wasn't the only problem of that team of why they were losing. So I feel like he can add something to other teams, whether it is as a backup quarterback. Right now, we're talking about the Niners. You have him coming off, to help out Purdy. That's something that,
So according to the reports, they're saying Daniel Jones, he's targeting playoff potential teams.
Okay.
So I think he realizes he's not a starter right now. So that's open season for, I think, any team that has a quarterback that probably is kind of banged up. Now, I mean, you mentioned Purdy, but it's just I don't see them as a playoff team, right? But you could think of like, hey, your Dolphins, if they get closer to a playoff seed.
I didn't want to say it out loud. The Dolphin fan in me was like, Daniel Jones, but hey.
But I saw Baltimore was circling that because you never know. Lamar, the way he plays, he may get banged up for a week or two. You at least have Daniel. Let's be clear, Daniel Jones. Okay, I know he's the butt of a lot of jokes. All right, but he's a serviceable quarterback. He made it to the playoffs before now. Like, he's not just total. Now, I don't want, I wouldn't take him over, my quarterback. No, I mean, I want Caleb Williams. I don't want no Daniel Jones over there. But so he's going to have a landing spot, though, like I said, kind of a backup type of thing. And it's almost like Mac Jones, like, where you just got to go to another team and kind of just work your way back up again or something.
Yeah.
That's kind of where he's at.
That's kind of what this season's been about. Look at Minnesota, with Darnold and Tampa with Baker Mayfield. He can, shoot out and start playing some good.
Man, the best example of bouncing back is Baker Mayfield. Like, to see his career arc, he was the number one pick. People forget he was the number one pick for the Browns. First person off the board, and they built the team around him. The Browns had a squad. He got hurt, and that's why the Browns went and gave Deshaun Watson like with $250 million or whatever, which they regret every day.
I know. I know the Browns. I know the Browns are big on James Winston right now, but if Watson continues to be hurt, maybe Daniel Jones might be a landing spot for him.
Probably on the offseason, because wherever Daniel Jones goes, I don't see him like continuing with that team. I think he should really be looking at like the Jags, Browns. What's another team that kind of has like spotty quarterback play? The Jets. I think that's a job a lot of quarterbacks should be going for.
Listen, that would be crazy to go like down the street to the other team. That would be nuts.
I think if he's smart, at least get into the running, because what are the Jets going to do? All I could do is draft a quarterback.
Rams just missed the field goal right now.
So it's still 27-14. Late in the third, so we'll see. Maybe the Eagles will pull away the way that game's going.
That's crazy.
But so we'll see the Daniel Jones story. One more thing I wanted to highlight. We kind of touched on the Cardinals and that Seahawks game, but just the fact, I just want to give just a little shout out to Geno Smith, because that's the guy.
Yeah,
Again, we're talking about the bounce back story. Sometimes it don't work with your original team,
100%.
and you got to go, and make your own way. Geno Smith, I think he became a Pro Bowler last couple years with the Seahawks, and
very quietly very quietly.
He makes those boneheaded throws that you get mad at Jalen Hurts about. Geno Smith does do that, but he's a baller. He's a gamer. Right? He goes out there and he competes just like Baker. Baker competes his butt off like every single game. He lost all his receivers like in one night, and Baker did, and he's still just willing them to end these games. So, but Geno Smith, they're and the Seahawks, they're leading the NFC West again, albeit just by that one game.
Yeah.
But they've beaten the Niners. Now they've beaten the Cardinals, but they have tough times with the Rams. So that division is going to be very interesting. As the season closes there. So just a little shout out. A little shout out to Geno Smith there.
Shout out to Geno.
Just a little bit. But out of those games, again, we're keeping an eye on this Philly Rams game. Monday night is Ravens and Chargers. Should be a fun game tomorrow night. But any other games or teams kind of stood out to you for the day?
I mean, obviously the Chiefs, they need to stop messing around because they're playing with fire, keeping these games all close. I get it. They're 10-1, but we've seen a lot of 10-1, 12-0 teams that go into that playoff, and it's a totally different story. When you get to that first round and they're one and dones. So I think they need to figure something out.
Yeah, this is one of the most uncomfortable 10-1 teams I think I've I'm not comfortable. Like the Eagles was kind of like this last year. Then they went on that nosedive. So I think the Bills exposed the Chiefs last week, and I think like right now, I don't think no teams are really scared of the Chiefs, because people were saying this whole time, okay, yeah, maybe they're not scoring as much, but their defense will hold them down. Well, now everyone's scoring on them now. Now you got Bryce Young, who's supposed to be the worst quarterback in the league. He's moving the ball on them, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think Josh Allen's going to do to you? Or if you see Lamar again, so
or Jalen Hurts, a repeat,
I just don't see them flipping this switch. I'm not going to be a prisoner to their past, heroics. I don't see it personally overall. One team I did miss, I do want to give a shout out. Let's see here. I had it queued up here from earlier today. Just a small shout out to the Denver Broncos.
Oh, yeah.
They're holding on to that final AFC spot. I think they have 5 losses. Yeah, 5 losses. So everybody's kind of chasing them for that final spot. And man, Bo Nix. I'm just gonna say it right now. Like I said before, I make my predictions as I go here. Steelers will win that division. I don't think the Ravens will win that division, the AFC North over there. Mm-hmm. But as far as with the Broncos, Bo Nix, I think he's rookie of the year. I think the way he's playing.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And he just seems so comfortable. It's crazy. It's crazy how like when you have a coach that actually believes in you and you just go along with it, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, Sean Payton. I mean, as much as I think, just personally, I think if I'm around Sean Payton, I'm like this dude must be a jerk, right? But but he knows football, right? And when he got his guy Drew Brees, they were contenders for at least 5 years. They had a good window of contender, and they won a Super Bowl as well in that window. He's found his new quarterback. He's gradually opened up the system. And Bo Nix is like 30 years old, right? Like he's been in college for like 8 years. but he got all those reps. He's a running quarterback as well. And like I said, just shout out to the Broncos. And actually, let me pull up the playoff picture for them because
Mr. J
I say
said
shout out
to for Saunders.
For Shedeur Sanders, I don't blame you. Now the Broncos, I know this is a team you ain't really cheering for
Yeah.
Carlos, because with those 5 losses, they're holding on to that 7th seed, but game ahead of your guys.
Who are
Dolphins.
they? Who are they playing this coming week?
The Broncos.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's get the Broncos schedule here, because with that only a loss behind.
Yeah.
Not bad. You got for the Broncos, after next week, they got the Browns coming to town and the Colts. Then they go to the Chargers a week before Christmas there. Winnable games, very winnable games for the Broncos. Chargers is a division, rival, so that'll be a thing there. And then they end their year off with the next games after that will be the Bengals, and they play the Chiefs. So I think the Broncos has a really good chance to hold on to that seed, to be quite honest. Now, your guys.
We play Packers on Thursday for Thanksgiving this week.
So you got the Packers, and then you welcome the Jets to the Texans. Then you welcome the Niners. I mean, again, y'all can run off a streak here.
Yeah.
And the schedule is you don't have a tough schedule the rest of the way.
Right.
I mean, I can't even consider the Texans as a tough game anymore, So
yeah, and they're projecting towards trajecting towards the right area. They're moving upward. Tua's moving the ball around, and shout out to Tua, man. I know I'm a Dolphins fan, whatever. Yeah, but shout out to Tua. He's proven that he is that guy, because he's spreading that ball around, and shout out to Tua. I just had a shout out.
Hey, I mean, this is definitely where the race is at. Broncos and Dolphins. You got to think, like I said, I think the Dolphins has an easier schedule, but it's just making up, that ground.
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about the Colts or the Bengals or anybody under there, but it's really that's going to be the race for the AFC 7th seed, Broncos and Dolphins. So we'll be keeping an eye on that every week, leading up to the end of the season. Now, let's see. We're in the 4th quarter.
Yeah,
27 this game. Let's see. We'll let them do their thing, because I think the Eagles are going to pull away, to be quite honest, the way this is going. But the tank for Shedeur Sanders. So since he brought up the college angle of this, let me pull back up this game going on here. We'll have an eye on the score. But college football. My Saturdays, like this whole thing with the college football playoffs, this was a wonderful idea. It really puts a lot of stakes to these games. And this is the updated bracket. If people don't know, it's a 12-team college football playoffs. And the thing really to pay attention here is the top 4 seeds. It's basically they take the top 4 conference winners is going to be the top 4 seeds. So it's all about your ranking and record and stuff. So that's really the main thing. Everything else is going to jostle around them. So number 1 in the world is Oregon. They're undefeated. They're in the Big Ten. They're playing great. I mean, we'll see. They get in the Big Ten championship game. Could Ohio State leap up and get them? I don't really think. Just watching Ohio State, they're squeaking by. So Oregon's really good. Number 2, Georgia, the SEC. That's not as secure, because Texas could jump up there. Some things could still happen. Alabama won't. Alabama's pretty much eliminated. That's crazy. You say that.
Yeah.
Then number 3, ACC leaders. Miami of Florida. The U, as they say, right? Very interesting. Cam Ward. Now, according to just people, predicting, going to the draft and stuff like that, they got Shedeur, best quarterback, Cam right after him, just as far as the rankings. And I think if you watch Shedeur Sanders, why people are saying, okay, he has a pro arm already. He is instinctive with his throws like Shedeur. That's why they don't want him to go to like a bad team. Like his dad don't want him to go to a bad team or organization, because they're like, we drop you in the right situation, you could make the playoffs the first year, like in the NFL. Shedeur is that good. Cam Ward just puts up numbers. If y'all haven't seen,
well with Cam Ward as well, he's very I guess the best way to put it is like mature in the way he plays the game. His IQ is like on another level, compared to a lot of these younger quarterbacks, because he's been a quarterback for a while now, So I think he's gonna be just fine. But he's ranked literally at the right level. He is that number 2 pick, definitely not number 1.
And it's only because I think he's a little shorter than Shedeur. Like I said, Shedeur is just like, he just has the football genes, from gods. So it's like he just, and he has an arm. It's like, that's not fair.
Yeah.
So it's like he's your prototypical quarterback, to stand in the pocket, do his thing. Cam Ward, like I said, he puts up straight up numbers. Like he just comes out there and gets it done. So I think he'll be happy wherever he's drafted at, and he's gonna, have a potential good year. But so Miami and Florida, like I said, they're 3rd seed, and I think that's SMU at 4. So the main thing with this bracket,
that's Boise, right?
Oh, Boise State. I'm sorry, Boise State. So because SMU down there, because I was thinking down there, 6 and 11 matchup. That's Penn State versus SMU. They probably could actually upset Penn State, and I was thinking like Miami, Florida, you really could make a little run here in the playoffs on your side of the bracket if things stand like this, right? Boise State, though, is great. They're in the Midwest Conference, I believe. They got the best running back in the world. They're saying he's Heisman level. First round, like, because a lot of running backs don't get picked high anymore. There's like, no, like this is the guy like you would pick in the top, top 10, 15. So I
hate their fields though, man. I can't stand their fields. That all blue
colors.
Oh man, be throwing me off.
But I would say, like, if things stand as they are, and in a funny way, I don't know, y'all probably could sneak up to the 2 seed if Georgia loses again.
Yeah.
But y'all on a good side of the bracket, because I could see you could match up with probably any of those teams on that side until you eventually see Oregon, then it'll be, or Texas. Then it'll be a problem. At that point.
The fan of me's coming out, bro. I don't know. I think we'll be the one surprising them, because one thing a lot of these games have been showing in these blowouts is we can throw it to pretty much anybody on our squad, and our running backs are killing it. I can never say his name. The main receiver starts with an R. He's like dynamic. So it'll be fun to see. I'm excited. I'm excited to get there already.
Yeah. So that's gonna be cool to see how that turns out for the college football playoffs. Nice new wrinkle to the college football scene. Now, right now with this Eagles and Rams game, Eagles, they're in the red zone. Like, they may score again. I think it's gonna be a wrap early in the fourth quarter
right now.
Thanks for participating, Rams. But I think this is about to get ugly at this point with that. And like I said, it just solidifies that the Eagles, despite the Jalen Hurts hate, they're right there with the Lions as the top teams in the NFC. So so we'll kind of see how that.
Speaking of the Lions, they did have a very slow start to the game today. They pulled it out in the end, but it was definitely a slow start.
Yeah. And like I said, the way the season's going, again, I'm not going to just anoint the Lions as, they're going to be. Hey, I think they can, they can be knocked off. Now they look the most complete team, though. I will say that.
Yes,
Lions do look the most complete, and that stands for something. But do I think there's like a guarantee? It's like, no, I think the Eagles could take them, but I think the Eagles could lose early too. So
I honestly think the Lions can outcoach the Eagles. I can see that. Just because their coaching is really good. I do like Campbell on the Lions.
Yeah, if I'm if I'm saying right now, like, who do I think the Lions would be probably the pick, be like, they're probably the favorite, you know what I'm saying? So so we'll see. So as we wait to the inevitable of this game, we'll transition here. I don't have my built-in music, but the basketball. Let's transition over a little bit to basketball with the NBA real quick here. Let's see what Mr. Lions over Eagles for sure.
Yeah.
I think like if you're saying like that's gonna be the NFC title game, the way the Lions are playing right now this year, I say the Lions will be favored. Yeah.
Yeah.
Say for sure.
sure.
For sure. So interesting. Now real quick with NBA. Again, I don't have my transition video. That would have been right there, but we're here talking about giving our basketball views now. And really, like I said, it's very early in the NBA season. If people have been watching, y'all know we haven't really been highlighting a lot of the basketball because it's again, get closer to Christmas time, the NBA gets a little more interesting overall. But just early standouts that I want to throw out there, and we'll Carlos, if there's any others, you'll throw your ideas out there. But the Cleveland Cavs started off with a 14-0 record. They finally lost the game.
Yeah.
And then, but right now they're 15-1. Now their style of play is this total modern NBA. They have shooters all across the board.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell averaging 24 points a game. Darius Garland averaging 20. It's good to see him show up.
Yeah.
Evan Mobley 18-9. Jared Allen 14-11. I mean, they have low key a very interesting lineup.
Everyone can handle the ball. Everyone can bring the ball down the court. They're scary, man, and unexpectedly, if they stay healthy, they can make some noise this season.
Yeah, outside of that, I mean, they have shooters like Karis LeVert, the shooter, Niang, Dean Wade. So you got a lot of guys off the bench that can shoot the three. But I mean, it's about their two guards that they kind of just take their turn attacking the rim, and they got a really good front court where they got good boards up front. So it's like complete team.
Mitchell is the epitome of when an organization believes in a team, he's all in. Like he's gonna give you everything he got. And this is crazy because he came from a team that we thought was having that with him in Utah, and he came here, and the first thought in their mind was, oh, he's not going to stay here. He signed that extension, and he's proven to us why he signed that extension. They built this team around him, and this man is literally he's putting up at least 5 threes a game easily. Like that's just on his every time you go I go bet for him, it's like over 4.5 or 3.5 threes he has to make. So it's he's having a season, and if he continues this route, I can see him being a candidate for MVP this season.
Oh, for sure. I think if they keep up with what they're doing right now, what are they? 17-1. I said 15-1. 17-1, and they're up there. Of course, the Celtics. Honorable mention in the Eastern Conference. You got the defending champs. Yeah. Celtics are doing what they've been doing the last couple of years. Orlando is a nice little standout. I think young team, and Banchero's been out.
Yeah,
and they're still right up there. Again, early in the year. But have you catch any of their games?
Yes. So starting off, Banchero was actually triple double king, honestly, this season, and then unfortunately he got hurt. But when injuries like this happen with these type of teams, especially with them being so young, it's showing that who's up next mentality, and you're seeing the team grow. So now when Banchero comes back, they got potential to make some noise, especially in the East. Because you got the Knicks right now who are, they're trying to figure out what's going on with them. You have Cat, he has great games, and then, he kind of goes, the others don't really show up as much for that team. They're still trying to figure it out. With
the Orlando Magic, Franz Wagner having a pretty good year, averaging 24 points. Again, a lot of this is because Banchero's out. So that's one thing. He's picking up a lot of slack, though. Pretty good shooter as well. Jalen Suggs was a guy. If people caught our NBA preview streams, you was talking about Jalen Suggs could be a guy that could step up. He's averaging 15, a game, which is pretty solid.
Yeah. And, well, he also got that contract this year, so in a sense, he's kind of like motivated more to be that next guy, especially having your main star be hurt. Your main focus, obviously when Banchero's on the floor is get the ball to Banchero and run the offense to him. Now that he's not, he's able to spread the ball a lot more now. So it's cool to see.
Yeah, and one last team, again, very early, so it's hard to be like, oh, this team should be doing better. But Milwaukee Bucks, they're starting to come on a little bit more this last week or so, but just a very uneasy feeling with the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, you have Giannis, who's just one of my favorite players. He's averaging, 32 and 12, okay, but then you got Dame Lillard, 25 points, but I don't know how effective his scoring really is translating with this team. He does get 7 assists as well. Middleton's out. Is that probably the problem? They're missing a third guy, or what do you think?
Nah, I think adding Middleton is going to actually bring up more of the concerns of this team. Lillard doesn't want to be there. He's never wanted to be there. He was forced into that situation by the Trailblazers. And then Giannis, he seems like he's fed up at this point. And I mean, to say on national television, if you don't want to be here, go somewhere else. Like that locker room just feels so toxic. And I mean, they don't have that veteran crew there anymore. You don't have a Drew Holiday to rally the troops. You don't have a Crowder anymore who, a lot of people may say, oh, Crowder, he's not you don't want him to be your go-to guy, but it's about the locker room, like he gathered them, especially when they won that championship. He was a part of that. So like,
Yeah. And like I said, that was standing, and also with Middleton, even if he comes back, like, is he really like that difference maker? Like, I don't think I'm looking more at the coaching. I mean, you got Doc Rivers there for some reason. It's just,
how does that guy keep getting a job, man? It's just crazy.
He got pictures of people or something. It's something that there's got to be something going on there. But I do see the outcome where, because I don't think the Bucks, as the season goes, if Orlando's holding and being that good, if your team, Miami, they may make some move or something, we'll see. But I think the Knicks will steady right there. So I don't see the Bucks as a contender in the East. I really don't.
No. And that lineup right there, 4 and 5, I see that being a playoff matchup, New York versus Miami, just because of how things are laying out. And something's telling me that Milwaukee isn't just. It doesn't matter if Giannis plays all games the rest of the season,
right?
Like he can't be the only one scoring the ball.
Exactly.
He can win. He can win you a couple games, but that's not gonna.
Well, just the role players. Like it's everything's not there for the Bucks, and in order to get more help, you got to give up something. And so, I don't know. Maybe it's time to blow it up. To be quite honest, overall. So we'll see. We'll see how the East turns up. But let's jump down to the West. And again, if those watching the football game, it was a 30-14 now. Eagles, 8 minutes to go.
If the Rams are going to make a push, this has to be right now.
They're going for it on 4th down, I think. And let's see what they do here. Because if the Rams don't get this, I think
it's over,
the game probably be over. But they're trying to drive. They're like at midfield.
Yeah, 4th and 3 right now.
So we'll see. I just think they should have been going to Cooper Cup way more than they have, man.
Got the first. They got the first.
So it's still alive. So we'll see if they make some kind of score. We'll kind of pay more attention to this again. So, but as far as on the West, it's I don't know if it's like a surprise for some people about like a little resurgence, but the Golden State Warriors, number 1 in the West. You've been watching the games. What do you think?
Man. Buddy Hield. He a lot didn't think that he would fit so well with Curry, and Curry's like, yo, my main splash bro is gone. Here's the new baton. Take it. And I mean, if y'all didn't see that game versus Dallas, Curry was not playing around. This man was yelling at the crowd afterwards, saying, "You want to leave? Leave." Like
Steph still got it, man. Like, this is, the day of modern medicine, sports medicine. Like,
yeah,
he's on the downside of 30, and he's still Steph Curry, averaging 22 points, so a little down from his MVP years. But Buddy Hield, like you mentioned, 16 points a game, another good 3-point shooter. That's really what they needed, because as much as people, again, we were all sentimental about Klay Thompson leaving, but
yeah.
he just put a bagel up for the Mavs. Like, that ain't the same Klay.
He didn't work. Yeah, he didn't work in that system anymore. They needed more out of him.
More consistency. Like, this ain't the same Klay anymore. 30 in one quarter and stuff like that. This isn't that Klay anymore. So I understand why, okay, Buddy Hield. Andrew Wiggins is like an enigma. He's averaging 17.
When he scores is good, but when he doesn't, it's like it didn't help or hurt you at all.
He just disappeared. Like, it just is he out there? And then he's out there. It's like, okay, I guess, but
just grabbing rebounds.
he's the team number 2 scorer right now, 17 points a game. Now that should be Kuminga. As much as they've been talking about Kuminga for 3 years, like, this dude, he hasn't taken any step. Or have you noticed anything? I haven't seen him taking like this, because they keep talking about he's the next guy up, and I'm not seeing it.
I think what was hindering, and you mentioned Klay Thompson. I think what was hindering the ascension of Kuminga is having Klay Thompson there, because Kuminga is that 2-guy role where he comes and he can create his own shot, move around. Now that he's finally getting that playing time, you're starting to see that rust of like, I haven't been in these situations before, so I have to learn how to maneuver myself around it. And it's good that you're seeing it now earlier, and they're actually tweaking it. You got a veteran coach with Kerr, letting him go out there some games, try to figure out how to get out of that quote unquote quicksand. I like using that term a lot. But when it's time to pull him, he'll pull him. Like, he's not afraid to pull him. He's become an option, not the number 2 piece at this point, which I think that's good for him, because he's gonna learn.
Yeah, I mean, he's a role. It just, he's still this project player. I mean, he's averaging 13 points a game. It's like, okay, Draymond's Draymond, right? He just does a little bit of everything. He's more of a leader, on the team. So, I mean, is this a championship team? Like, I still think they're gonna make something. If Wiggins is going to be there and actually play, and be a factor, then great. If not, let's package him. And I don't know. I would get rid of Kuminga and just get another like solid.
This option is going to be crazy to a lot of people. What I'm about to say. Do not be surprised if there is a package deal of Kuminga, and you could honestly add anyone else on that second spot for a Fox over at Sacramento.
To
come play with Curry.
That'd be interesting. I wonder how that will work overall. I do see De'Aaron Fox. He has to realize like his future isn't Sacramento.
It's not happening.
They got a lot of talent down there, but it's not happening, right? Like, it's. Like, you're looking at the West right now. I mean, again, the Warriors, I'm surprised they jumped out so early, but, they got their system and they just plugged more pieces in there. I still think they're gonna make a move. Then you got the Thunder, which everyone expected the Thunder to be pretty good.
Yeah.
With SGA, though, Chet Holmgren's out for a couple months. So we'll see.
That's gonna be a huge factor for them. That Chet Holmgren, if he could stay healthy, they could be scary in this league.
Yeah, right now with the West, like who am I really taking seriously out here? It's OKC, and then I would never count out Steph Curry and the Warriors if they're healthy. And again, I think they're a move away from really challenging.
Yeah.
But outside of that, like these other teams, again, early in the years, under 20 games, around 20 games. Rockets is early. My Lakers, they had their Bronny moment, so that's over. Surprisingly, the Clippers, James Harden, props to him. holding the
Shout
team.
out to Harden, man.
Yeah.
He's been balling.
I mean, most people know Kawhi Leonard, decided to, not start the season again. And so he got all the games. And all James Harden has done is, average 28 and 8, getting Norman Powell the ball more. So they lost Paul George, who his knee just goes away now. Like Paul George, I think is done.
Rubber band, man.
I mean, the way he gets hurt now, it's like he gets hurt just standing up. Like his knee just goes the other way. It's like, what in the world? Like
it's nuts.
So it's like Norman Powell's picking up the score on 23 points a game. Zubac giving you 15 and 12 a game, which is huge for a big. I mean, all these big men disappearing. You got a real big man right there with Zubac.
Yeah.
The Clippers, if they're smart, okay, you got Harden running the show. Norman Powell, you probably want to make another move, probably package some people. That could be your De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
Sure.
The only reason why I said Fox to Warriors is because I'm starting to see how Curry is playing and how Curry's getting his numbers. And it's been a lot of catch and shoot. Having a guy like Fox, you don't need to put the ball in, Curry's hand to create. All Curry has to do is get open and shoot. And, he's one of the best players off the ball. But now with the Clippers, I can see them making a move to get Kuzma over there to play over from the Wizards. I think that would be a nice pickup for them. He's ascended not a lot, but a little this season. He's actually been balling for the Wizards.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see that move.
Yeah, I can see them making a move for sure. But like I said, I mean, it's good to see they're holding the float. And now it's like when Kawhi, when he decides just to show up, he'll just be another piece out there. He's like, okay, Kawhi, like, we'll ISO you a little bit, but we're not expecting you to like survive. At this point, it's just like, don't even worry about Kawhi anymore. I would package, what you can. And like that Kuzma would fit perfectly on this type of team.
Yeah.
And just really make a run for a play-in or playoffs,
It's crazy to think, 2 years ago, you would not be talking about James Harden like this at all.
Right.
Yeah,
he really fit into the role that his team actually needs this time, instead of, shooting every. Now, I guess one more team I'll point out as far as on the West, is the Denver Nuggets. Another one of my favorite players, Jokic, the Joker, over there having like. This is crazy. He's having his best season ever. Like, he's won the MVP like 3 times already, champion. He's averaging 30, 14, and 11. Yeah, crazy. That's triple-double, folks, and a block a game, and a steal a game. So he's the best player in the world right now. But his surrounding pieces aren't the same anymore or not as complete. You got Porter, who did step up. I was on him early in the season. Michael Porter's averaging 19 a game. He's got to stay consistent. But Jamal Murray's kind of taking a dip. And that's concerning.
Very, very much so. And honestly, the greatness that we're seeing from Joker right now, I personally will give a big shout out to Westbrook and how Westbrook has been playing. And Westbrook still dropping triple doubles out there. I know it's early in the season, but he's setting up his boys to win, and a lot of times, that used to be Jamal Murray on that team to step up when Jokic couldn't get that score. It was always Jamal Murray. Now we're seeing that it's mainly Westbrook. Porter is there, but Westbrook is taking that next step too, coming off the bench and whatnot. So,
yeah, Jamal Murray, he's not obviously we knew he wasn't a superstar, but he's not an all-star even to me, I don't think, at this point. But he's averaging 17 a game, 6 assists. Chris Brown, he's a lot of energy guy, averaging 16. So that's a nice step up.
Not the singer, guys. Not the singer. All
right, Christian Brown, I should say. Yeah. But outside of that, outside of Russ coming off the bench, they have nothing else on this team. You know what I mean? And that's the difference from their championship teams where they had that supporting cast. Jokic is going to tire himself out holding this team in a playoff seed. To be quite honest,
It's crazy how this team is though right now. It looks like that Olympic team he had, that he pretty much just carried that whole team against Team USA. If you really
yeah.
see how that team was constructed, this is kind of like how the Denver Nuggets look right now. Where
Well,
Jokic is at number one.
but at least those guys on Serbia, they were hitting their shots more consistent
Yeah.
than this Nuggets team. That's the problem that we got going on there. So we'll see. We'll see as far as with NBA overall. And again, when we get closer to Christmas time, it will be a little more activity when it comes in trade and All-Star time and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
I believe that they're also holding off on the in-season tournament. They're trying to wait till football's done or something like that. They're trying to like push it back a little bit.
I
was
think
hearing
next
something
season,
next season. Okay.
Because they got the NBA Cup. They had those games going on, which I don't know. What do you think? Like, I know they're trying to like hype up the beginning of the year and get people to play, but it's like
I think it's too soon. I don't want to hear about NBA Cup until the first week of December. That should be around. I would say eliminate. Obviously have your Christmas games, but like I would say like eliminate that whole like shebang and make it like a month tournament.
I would say it should start after. I think it should start right after Christmas. That's what I think. I think it should start like you have because the hype is going to Christmas and the games. Everyone's watching NFL right now, and so after your Christmas games, that's kind of like you introducing, hey, it's about to get serious with the NBA, and then start, do your in-season tournament before All-Star, comes up.
Yeah, for February. Okay, I see.
So January, because so just a little later than December, but because around that time, then it's all just about NFL playoffs. Then you got the all week, for NBA. You know what I mean? And
it makes sense.
So it's an idea now. I mean, is it providing
Saquon
more hype?
Saquon. This man just he is running all through that team. Holy smokes.
He's just crossed 300 all-purpose yards for the game. That's MVP type stuff what Saquon's doing. Another touchdown if people aren't noticing. 37-14. As we figured, he's going to just put the game away. That's pretty much.
He just ran through the whole
2 minutes
defense.
left. Yeah, so that's night time for that game. But and like I said, the Eagles. I mean, obviously, if they play like this, they could beat anybody. But can they match up with the Lions? Can the Eagles hold that standard for a complete season? And having Saquon, that helps. Just hand it off to Saquon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he'll do a backwards hurdle and take it to the touchdown.
That's crazy. And I just saw they put that animation in Madden. So I gotta update my Madden and see get Saquon doing backwards hurdles and stuff.
Yes, sir.
That's crazy. Well, we're gonna round this one out just like the Eagles are rounding out the Sunday night game. Again, we on Night Views we try to touch on obviously the NFL season and then other popular professional and collegiate sports, basketball, football, etc. Coming up for again the sports platform. Again, we want to hit y'all with these during the Sunday night football games. And last week we lucked out. It was a more competitive game. But it's all right. That's why we try to start this a little early because these games could get out of hand overall. But just if you're on YouTube over there, support the platform, whatever you're watching. If you're on Still Abdul Sports, the links to Carlos' channel and the Night Views podcast channel should be in the description. Check out Real Talk Productions. And do you still do your reactions when you get a chance, Carlos, or on your platform?
Yeah. So I actually had to take a little hiatus on the reactions. I'm starting back up in December. I'm actually in a basketball league right now. Like this week, we have 3 games going on. I have Monday, Wednesday, and then Friday. So like we're full force over here on playing on the adult league. So, but yeah, definitely when I get my chances and now that basketball, it hasn't really, it's still kind of early. Once you start getting them those competitive games, that's where you start seeing the reactions. And college playoffs is coming around the corner too. So
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna heat up after the new year, as far as towards the end of the year with NBA. Yeah, college basketball going on. So I definitely got to check out what the ladies doing in college
Yeah.
basketball. They're gonna have some interesting stuff, and then we get closer to the new year, March Madness, and all that stuff. So it's gonna be a lot of basketball coming up
Yep.
overall. So good stuff. So as we say, appreciate y'all supporting us no matter where y'all are, especially on X Twitter, having some again great engagement, great viewership. So we're gonna keep bringing this to y'all. Like I said, every Sunday during this football season here. For myself, Sil Abdul, Carlos of Real Talk Productions. Catch y'all
Yes,
next time.
sir.
All right.